All right, today we are finally posting on our YouTube channel my Chicago rib tip recipe. Y'all are gonna love this every time I make it. Doesn't matter for who. Rib tips are an awesome recipe. So first you have to start with the dry rub a day before. So I'm making rib tips tomorrow, and today we're gonna dry rub them. So I have all my ingredients out here. I'm gonna start with half a teaspoon of cayenne and half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And then we're gonna go 1 teaspoon of hot smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of chipotle chili powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, and 1 teaspoon of Lowry seasoned salt. Now we go to 2 teaspoons. I always break up my spices in this way, so groups, and so then I don't have to go back to look at the recipe too often. I just know 1 or half, 1 and 2. So now we're into the 2 teaspoon part. I got 2 teaspoons of oregano, 2 teaspoons of black pepper, and then we have Cabela's sweet rib rub. We're going to use that. You can find this at the outdoor stores, Bass Pro Shops. And then I have Cowboy Crust. I use this for some of my steak rubs as well. 2 heaping teaspoons there. And then lastly, 2 teaspoons of brown sugar. And you mix this up. Now this is enough rub for probably about 4 pounds of rib tips. So if you're making it for more people, you just double or triple the recipe, but about 4 pounds of rib tips. This is about how much rub you get. So let's get the rib tips out here and season them up. Okay, so this is your 4 pounds of meat. The bones go this way. And so basically this is a spare rib rack cut in strips. So I'm gonna grill them and smoke them whole and then cut them this way to make little rib tip pieces. So this is what you got. Again, I'm gonna probably use most of this rub. Generously get this on all of my pieces. I'm definitely going to use all of this rub today. Your pieces are probably going to be a little inconsistent depending on your butcher. You see I have some thinner pieces and a big piece over here. So this piece might just need to stay cooking for a little while longer than these other pieces. That's okay. Use all the rub in the container here. Coated. Never like to waste any of the rub. Use it there. And as I said, it's Saturday, so I'm doing the rub on Saturday, and I'm going to cook these on Sunday. So at least 24 hours. Let the seasoning get into the meat. If you don't have time to do this, don't skip the shortcut. Do not think that you can just do this in the morning and cook at 2, 3 o'clock. It's not the same. The meat's not going to be as flavorful. Give yourself 24 hours. This recipe takes time, but it pays off in the end. Not very labor intensive. Once you put these on the grill, not much you have to do with them, but you do have to marinate the day before, and you do need 3 hours of cooking. So here we go. These are the ribs. They smell amazing. We'll come back tomorrow. Every good barbecue needs a homemade sauce. Please do not serve these rib tips with bottled sauce. Make a sauce. If this is not your style, find another recipe that is homemade that you like, whether it be Carolina style, a hot barbecue, a sweet barbecue. This one is actually what I call my molasses brown sauce, inspired by a sauce that we had when we went to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, actually. One of those food halls that had the barbecue service, and they had all the sauces that they make on the side, and you got a chance to try all of the sauces. By far, the brown molasses sauce was our favorite. So that's what we inspired this recipe today, and I use this for almost all of my barbecue now. So I have a 1/4 cup of water here, and I have a teaspoon of minced garlic. And then we're gonna add about a 1/4 cup of ketchup. And 3/4 cup of ketchup. I think I said a 1/4. 3/4 cup of ketchup. 3/4 cup of brown sugar. And 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. Quarter cup of water is already in there. 1/3 cup of molasses. It's a little tricky because it's so sticky. So let's see if I can do this without making a mess here. That's always the key. Although I am usually the person that cooks and cleans, so it'd be me cleaning up the mess. Sometimes, let's see. Perfect, so that's 1/3 cup of dark molasses. And then we're gonna do a tablespoon of Worcestershire. Okay, and teaspoon of minced garlic's already in. 2 teaspoons of yellow mustard. I'm just eyeballing this. That's good. 2 good squirts, that's enough. Teaspoon of hot sauce. This is a tablespoon measure, but I'll put it in here just so I can see it. Yeah, good. Louisiana hot sauce is what I'm using today. And 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. I'll use this. This is a little bit more. This is 1 teaspoon, so I'll just do a measurement about 1/2. And 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. I could also use my hand. That looks about right. You can always taste for seasoning. Okay, so we got pepper, we got chili powder, and we got hot paprika, 1/2 teaspoon. Whoa, that's too much. See? Use my hand. There we go. We're all good. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Good. And now we have some hot jelly. It doesn't have to be specific. A lot of the store brands, by the cheese section where you can make like a charcuterie platter, they have a lot of different jellies there. Something that has kind of a sweet and hot component is fine. Just adding that. So now over low heat. That's all the ingredients. Super easy recipe. Here it is. Doesn't look fabulous right now. Whisk it together. Bring it to a low simmer for about 5 minutes. It's gonna thicken up. And then you just store it, keep it on the side until you're ready to have your barbecue. This is 1 batch. So this will be enough for today's barbecue. You need some for brushing on the barbecue, and then obviously you need some for serving. If this is difficult for you, you want to make double batch, keeps in the fridge in an airtight container for weeks. You can have it on your next barbecue. Usually I do make a double batch when I make this, but today this is a single. So I'm going to make today, 5 minutes on the stove, and we'll show you what it looks like after it bubbles down. All right, so turning off the heat after about 5 minutes. Had it on a good simmer, whisk it together. Now this is gonna thicken up after it sits here a little bit, but take a clean spoon. This is what you want. You want this line to stay here, so it's not too runny, it's not too thick. Give it a little taste. I don't know why I taste it. Perfect every time, seriously. The only thing that can change the flavor is depending on that hot and sweet jelly that you get, but not by much because you're only putting a teaspoon in here. You see I have little specks in my sauce. I did fresh minced garlic today. So if that bothers you in your sauce, you can always put this through a strainer And you'll still have the flavor of the garlic. Sometimes I do use actually that fresh tube of garlic, so it's kind of more like a paste, and it melts right into the sauce. But that's all you see in here today is I use the fresh minced garlic, so you see a little specks of that. So we're just gonna let this cool. If you're cooking today, you could use the sauce right from the pot, but you can also just store it in the fridge and ready for your barbecue when you are. All right, so I have my smoker box. I have a little dish here. I'm actually gonna use apple juice. You wanna make sure that you have moisture in your grill for this 3-hour cook. And I also have some apple juice in a spray bottle. So every hour I'm gonna go ahead and spray the ribs. And then here's my wood chips. They've been soaking in water. Fill up your container. And I have extra here, so when these burn out, I'm actually gonna make another packet. So we have wood chips smoke all throughout. Today I'm using apple chips. Those on the side. I do also like hickory for the rib tips as well. Okay, so I have a 3-burner grill. You probably can't see that, but I'm gonna put heat on high right over the wood chips and then no heat over here, and the rib tips are gonna go here. So let's get it heated up. The lid. We're going for 300 degrees and we'll see you back in an hour. Got some smoke going. And flip these bad boys. Got them all, and so 1 more hour now. At the 2-hour mark, spray and flip. All right, 3 hours. Now I'm gonna start basting. And we got 30 minutes left. I had some bigger pieces, so I went 3 hours today, but typically it's like 2.5. Just depends on your pieces. See those big boys right there? We do have some meat pulling away from the bone. That's a good sign. All right, close the lid, 10 minutes, and we'll baste again. All right, last 10 minutes. I'm gonna do one more flip on the side. Brush one more time. They're looking good. Thanks for watching, y'all. Hope you try out my recipe. Catch me next time.